Have you ever paused to think just how one small misstep could change everything you've worked for? It's a quiet fear many of us carry, even if we don't say it out loud. I know because I've been there too. Those moments when a simple walk down the hallway feels suddenly uncertain, and the worry of losing balance creeps in like an unwelcome guest. It's frustrating, even a little scary, to feel your confidence wobble when all you want is to keep living life on your terms. But here's the good news. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership to feel steady and strong on your feet again. There are gentle, practical steps anyone can take. Small shifts in how we walk that make a huge difference in how safe and confident we feel. These aren't complicated exercises or impossible routines. They're simple habits that real seniors across the country are using right now to move with ease and keep their independence. In this video, I'm going to share 6 easy walking tips that might just change the way you move and the way you live. Imagine walking with more balance, less fear, and more freedom than you thought possible. You deserve to feel that way every day. So tell me, which of these tips speaks to you the most? Let's take this journey together, because you deserve to live well, with strength and confidence at every step. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. Now, let's begin. Step 1. Head position awareness. It's funny how something as simple as where we look can quietly shape every step we take. For most of our lives, walking was second nature. We strolled across yards, hurried through grocery aisles, bent down to tie a shoe, all without a second thought. But as the years add up, so do the little aches, the cautious pauses, and perhaps most of all, the subtle fear that one misstep could lead to trouble. And that's where the story of head position truly begins. Not with the feet, but with our eyes and where we let them lead. You might not realize it, but many older adults naturally start looking down more as they walk. It makes perfect sense at first. After all, we want to watch for cracks in the sidewalk, stray cords in the living room, and the dog sleeping in the hallway. For so long, we were told to watch our step, and so we do. We become vigilant, almost out of habit, scanning the ground for danger. But the truth is, constantly looking down doesn't make us safer. It quietly steals away our balance. When we tip our head forward and let our chin drop, our shoulders follow suit, rounding forward. Our spine curves, our core relaxes, and suddenly, without us noticing, our entire center of gravity shifts out of its natural line. We become more likely to miss obstacles, not less because our field of vision narrows and our body's alignment is thrown off. I remember meeting Harold a few years ago, a retired mechanic who still took great pride in keeping his hands busy. Every morning, Harold would walk through his neighborhood, rain or shine. But he began to notice something was off. Walking downhill, he felt unsteady, even though his legs still seemed strong. His daughter worried he'd fall, and Harold started to feel that familiar sense of frustration, a life once so full of movement now overshadowed by anxiety. After a gentle nudge from his daughter, Harold met with a physical therapist. It was there he learned an unexpected truth. His habit of watching his feet was making his balance worse. The therapist introduced him to something called the forward gaze rule. Instead of looking straight down, Harold was encouraged to keep his eyes focused about 10 to 15 feet ahead for most of his walk, only glancing down briefly when needed. At first, it felt awkward. Years of habit are hard to change, especially when those habits are rooted in the desire to be careful. But Harold gave it a try, lifting his chin, letting his gaze find a spot on the sidewalk ahead, and moving with new intention. Within a week, he noticed a difference he hadn't expected. His stride smoothed out. He wasn't tensing his shoulders or clenching his jaw as much. The world around him felt a bit more open, a bit less filled with hidden dangers. The magic of this small change lies in the body's natural design. When you let your head sit upright and your eyes lead the way, your spine stacks itself, your shoulders relax, and your core muscles, those deep, often neglected muscles around your middle, wake up to support you. You move as a whole person again, not just as a pair of feet navigating obstacles. It's a shift that you don't always see in the mirror, but you feel it in the confidence of every step. Of course, old habits can tug at us, especially in tricky moments. Stepping off a curb, navigating an uneven driveway, searching for a dropped set of keys. It's okay to look down when you need to. The goal isn't to ignore the ground beneath you, but to trust your body to guide you most of the time. Glance down to double-check, but return your eyes forward as your default. You'll notice not only that you walk taller, but that your awareness of the world around you expands. The flowers blooming beside the path, the neighbor waving from across the street, the beauty in your front yard, all of it comes back into view when your gaze lifts. Some days, you might find yourself slipping back into old patterns. That's normal. Lasting change isn't about perfection, but about gentle reminders and a willingness to keep trying. If you catch yourself looking down too often, pause for a moment, roll your shoulders back, and lift your eyes to where you want to go. Imagine you are leading yourself forward, not chasing your feet. It's a practice, and with time, it becomes second nature again. For those who want to reinforce this new habit, there are small exercises you can try right at home. Stand at one end of a hallway and pick a spot at the other end. Maybe a family photo, a favorite painting, or even a window looking out into the world. Walk toward it with your eyes on that spot, shoulders relaxed, and notice how your body responds. If you feel uncertain, keep a hand lightly grazing the wall or a sturdy chair nearby, just for reassurance. You'll likely find that your steps grow steadier and your confidence builds with each attempt. And if you ever feel unsteady, know that you're not alone. Most seniors, no matter how active they've been, struggle with balance at some point. Sometimes it's medications, sometimes it's old injuries, and sometimes it's just the body's way of asking for a bit more attention. There's no shame in taking it slow or asking for support. The point isn't to move fast, but to move well. Harold's story, and the stories of so many others, remind us that regaining control isn't always about doing more. It's often about doing less, but doing it with intention. When you look up and let your head guide you, you send a message to your whole body. I am here, I am present, and I am moving forward. It's an act of quiet courage, of refusing to shrink back in the face of fear, and of choosing to see what lies ahead rather than only what's underfoot. So the next time you head out for a stroll, or even just make your way from the living room to the kitchen, remember this simple truth. Your vision can guide you, not your fear. Every step is a chance to reclaim the ease and dignity you deserve. The world is still full of things worth seeing, and you have every right to see them, one steady, confident step at a time. Step 2. Rediscover the rhythm of your arms. There's a special sort of grace in the way a person walks. If you think back, you might remember watching children race through a yard, arms swinging, hair flying, band bodies moving with a kind of effortless coordination that seems almost musical. We may not have thought much about it then, but those swinging arms were doing more than adding flair to their stride. They were quietly keeping everything in balance, like the arms of a tightrope walker, steadying each step. Over the years, that rhythm can slip away, little by little. Perhaps it's a result of sore shoulders or stiff joints, or maybe it's just the gradual tightening that happens when we grow more cautious with age. Some of us start carrying a purse or a grocery bag in one hand, or we reach for the comfort of a cane after an unexpected stumble. For others, it's simply the creeping anxiety that comes after a fall, the memory of pain, the worry it might happen again. And so, without even realizing it, we stop letting our arms move freely. Our stride becomes more careful. Our hands may be clutching a walker or resting tensely at our sides. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But what if bringing back that natural swing could make us safer, not just more elegant? What if one of the secrets to walking with more confidence is as simple as letting our arms remember their old rhythm? Let me tell you about Miss Bernice, a retired schoolteacher who spent her working life guiding children down hallways and across busy intersections. Even in her late 70s, Bernice had a sparkle in her step, at least until a sudden fall left her shaken. After that, she leaned heavily on a cane, her left arm almost glued to her side for security. The more she focused on staying safe, the stiffer her movements became. She moved slower, felt less like herself, and, ironically, her balance didn't improve at all. Her physical therapist gently pointed out something important. While Bernice was so busy protecting herself, she had forgotten the simple rhythm that once kept her steady. Our arms, the therapist explained, are like counterweights. When the right leg steps forward, the left arm swings forward, and vice versa. This gentle crossing keeps our momentum balanced and helps us stay centered with each step. Without it, our bodies have to work harder to keep from wobbling, and we're more likely to overcorrect or even stumble. Bernice was skeptical at first. After all, she had always been told to grip her cane tightly, to stay alert, to brace for the unexpected. But with encouragement, she tried something new, alternating her arm swing with each step, letting her right arm move forward when her left leg did, and relaxing her elbow instead of tensing up. If she needed to carry something, she would make sure at least one arm could move. And when using her cane, she practiced moving it in rhythm with her steps, not locking it in place. It didn't take long for her to notice the difference. The first thing she felt was a sense of lightness, almost as if she were gliding rather than trudging. Her balance improved, and for the first time since her fall, she walked with a little bit of her old confidence. Her friends even commented on how much more herself she looked, no longer hunched or guarded, but moving with a familiar, easy flow. The science behind this is simple but powerful. Arm swinging isn't just for children or athletes. It's a built-in tool that helps everyone, especially as we get older. When we let our arms swing naturally, we reduce the amount of twisting and straining our hips and spine need to do. We keep our upper body loose, and we're better able to react quickly if we stumble or need to change direction. Even a gentle, relaxed motion can make a world of difference. Of course, some days are better than others. There will be times when you need to carry a bag or steady yourself with a cane. Maybe an old shoulder injury means one arm swings less than the other. That's perfectly okay. What matters most is to use what you can. Even swinging one arm is better than none at all. It still provides that counterbalance and helps your body stay in sync. For those just starting to rediscover this rhythm, here are a few gentle tips you might try at home. Stand in place and march softly, letting your arms hang by your sides. Notice how, without thinking, one arm moves forward as the opposite knee rises. Try walking a few steps across your living room, focusing on a relaxed, natural movement rather than forcing it. If you have trouble letting go of tension, shake out your hands, roll your shoulders back, and take a deep breath before starting. It may feel awkward at first, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. If you use a cane or walker, ask your physical therapist to show you how to coordinate your arms. Sometimes it's as simple as alternating which side you use the cane on holding your device with a lighter grip. The goal isn't to look perfect, but to restore just a little bit of the easy flow that once made walking feel joyful. Bringing back the rhythm of your arms is about more than just preventing falls. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself. It's a gentle reminder that our bodies still remember how to move with freedom, even after years of guarding against pain or injury. Walking becomes less of a chore, less of a risk, and more of a pleasure, even if only for a few minutes each day. Miss Bernice still carries her cane when she needs it, but she no longer lets fear dictate every step. Sometimes she even forgets it's there, caught up in the simple joy of moving her body the way it was meant to move. Her arms swing gently at her sides, in time with her favorite old song humming softly in her head. The world feels a bit wider, her confidence just a little stronger, and each day, the rhythm returns, step by step, arm by arm, moment by moment. So the next time you take a walk, whether it's down the driveway or around the block, pause for a second and notice your arms. Let them move, even a little. Let your body find its old music again. You might be surprised by how much lighter you feel, and how much more like yourself you become, with every gentle swing. Step 3. Focus on how your feet touch the ground. Sometimes, the smallest things make the biggest difference, like the way your feet meet the earth with every single step. It's something so basic that we hardly notice it, at least not until our sense of balance starts to shift or we find ourselves stumbling where once we walked with ease. Yet for so many older adults, how the foot lands is the quiet foundation for every safe, confident journey across a room, down a sidewalk, or through the front door to greet a new day. Think back for a moment. Do you remember learning to walk? Of course not. None of us do. It's one of those natural miracles of childhood, our bodies figuring out, all by themselves, just how to balance, step, and keep moving forward. And if you've ever watched a toddler, you might notice their feet. How they land, almost flat at first, then gradually, with practice, their steps become more coordinated, more sure, their heels meeting the ground first, toes pushing off into the next little adventure. But as we age, sometimes that natural pattern quietly slips away. Maybe you find yourself taking shorter steps, or perhaps you shuffle your feet when you're tired. For some, there's a fear of tripping, so you keep your feet closer to the floor, never really letting your heels lead the way. Others deal with joint pain, neuropathy, or just plain old habits. The result is the same. A flat-footed step, a toe-first landing, or a gait that feels more like sliding than walking. This was exactly what happened to Leonard, a 74-year-old gardener who spent most of his life outdoors, digging in the dirt, tending tomatoes and sunflowers. For years, Leonard never gave a second thought to walking. His feet took him everywhere, strong and sure. But then, almost overnight, he began to stumble more, especially on the back porch where the boards were a little uneven. At first, he brushed it off as just getting older. But when he nearly fell carrying a watering can, he knew he had to do something different. At his next checkup, Leonard's doctor referred him to a physical therapist. The therapist watched him walk and noticed right away. Leonard was barely lifting his feet, letting them slide forward, not landing on his heels at all. It was a subtle change, but one that made all the difference. The therapist explained that a healthy step starts with the heel gently meeting the ground, the pressure then rolling through the arch, and finally, the toes pushing off to launch the next step. This heel-to-toe movement absorbs shock, protects the joints, keeps you stable, and helps prevent the dreaded toe catch that can so easily lead to a fall. At first, retraining that pattern felt a bit strange. Leonard started by practicing at home, holding on to the kitchen counter for support. He focused on lifting each foot, placing his heel down first, then rolling through to his toes, almost exaggerating the motion just to remind his body what it used to do so naturally. It wasn't easy. Years of old habits and a lifetime of walking differently took time to unravel. But he was determined. A few minutes each day, step by step, he built the pattern back into his body's memory. After a couple of weeks, something remarkable happened. His legs felt stronger, his knees hurt less, and the trip-up moments all but disappeared. Walking became more than a way to get from point A to point B. It became a little victory, a return to ease, a reminder that even small changes can restore confidence. He even took his barefoot practice one step further, laying a towel on the living room floor and walking across it, feeling every part of his foot connecting with the fabric, reminding himself to lead with his heels and finish with his toes. If you're wondering how to bring this healthy pattern back into your own life, start with a simple self-check. Watch how your feet land as you move from room to room. Do you slap your feet down flat, or do your toes hit first? Do you feel hesitant to lift your foot for fear of catching it on a rug or threshold? If so, you're not alone, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Most seniors, at some point, find that their steps become more tentative and more cautious. But just as Leonard discovered, the body can learn again. Try this gentle practice at home. While standing near a sturdy chair or countertop, lift one foot and deliberately set your heel down first. Then, let the pressure roll forward through your arch and onto your toes, finishing the step with a gentle push-off. Go slowly. Focus on the sensations, the contact, the movement, the feeling of your foot rolling from heel to toe. Repeat this several times with each foot. If it feels odd, that's okay. Odd simply means it's something new, or perhaps something old being rediscovered. Over time, take this practice to your everyday walks. Whether you're going to get the mail, heading out for a stroll, or just circling the living room, remind yourself, heel, then toe. Not only does this absorb the shock of each step, sparing your knees and hips, but it also helps keep your muscles engaged and your joints aligned. Your toes are less likely to catch, and your confidence starts to bloom again. There's a subtle beauty in these small adjustments. They remind us that aging isn't just about loss. It's about adaptation. We might not move exactly as we did at 30, but we can still move well, move safely, and move with a kind of wisdom that comes only with experience. Every step, every shift in habit, is a quiet act of self-care, a promise to yourself that you still deserve to walk in the world with strength. And if you ever doubt it, remember Leonard's story. He thought stumbling was just something he'd have to live with, an unchangeable part of getting older. But with a bit of curiosity and a willingness to try, he found that the path to better balance was right beneath his feet all along. So, as you walk into the next chapter of your life, pay attention to how your feet meet the ground. Let your heels lead, let your toes follow, and trust your body to remember what it once knew so well. Every step is a small triumph, a testament to your resilience, your patience, and your unwavering hope for many more safe journeys to come. Step 4. The power of small steps. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. There's something poetic about the way life nudges us to slow down as we grow older. Once, we may have taken long, confident strides without a thought, moving quickly from one place to the next, our bodies working in harmony to carry us where we needed to go. But time has a way of quietly changing things, shifting our priorities from speed to safety, from getting there fast to making sure we get there well. Many older adults remember the days when taking big steps felt natural, stretching across the yard in 3 quick strides, bounding up a flight of stairs, and even keeping pace with grandchildren who seemed to move at the speed of light. There's a certain pride in those memories, a quiet acknowledgement of the strength and energy that once defined us. But as years pass, those long steps can become trickier, and sometimes even dangerous. We don't notice it all at once. Maybe it starts with a stumble on an uneven sidewalk, or a slip in the kitchen when we're rushing to answer the phone. Suddenly, our legs don't feel quite as steady as they used to. This is where the wisdom of small steps comes into play, a wisdom that, for many of us, is hard-won. There's an old saying that slow and steady wins the race, and nowhere is this truer than in the way we walk as we age. Taking smaller, more controlled steps isn't a sign of weakness or defeat. It's an act of self-respect, a gentle acknowledgement that our bodies have changed and that we care enough about ourselves to change with them. Take Mr. Franklin, for example, a retired postman who prided himself on his speed. In his early 80s, he was still determined to stay strong, believing that the best way to do so was to keep up a brisk pace, just as he always had during his years delivering letters. He would stride across his living room in just a handful of long, quick steps, convinced that the farther he reached with each foot, the healthier he'd stay. But a couple of stumbles, even in the familiar comfort of his own home, made him stop and reconsider. With the gentle encouragement of a local therapist, Mr. Franklin began experimenting with the length of his stride. Instead of focusing on how far he could go with each step, he learned to bring his feet a little closer beneath him, shortening the distance but increasing the frequency. At first, it felt unnatural, almost like he was shuffling. However, the therapist explained that these small, deliberate steps kept his weight more centered over his feet, making his balance steadier and his reactions quicker if he encountered something unexpected. It wasn't long before Mr. Franklin noticed a difference. Not only did he feel less tired at the end of the day, but he also realized he hadn't tripped once since he made the change. His muscles didn't ache from constantly trying to catch himself, and his movements felt smoother and more controlled. Walking became less about covering ground quickly and more about enjoying each step, feeling the connection with the floor, the gentle rhythm that kept him steady. There's a beauty in these small steps, a kind of mindfulness that brings us into the present moment. When we take big, ambitious strides, our center of gravity shifts behind us, making us more likely to lose our balance. Our knees and hips have to work harder to keep up, and we're slower to react if something unexpected happens. A cat darting across the hallway, a loose rug, or a patch of uneven sidewalk. But with smaller steps, our bodies stay poised and ready, connected to the ground, and able to respond to life's little surprises. If you'd like to see for yourself, here's a simple practice. Walk at your usual pace for 10 seconds and count how many steps you take. Then, try it again, but with shorter steps, closer together, more frequent. You might be surprised to find you feel more balanced, and your step count goes up. That's a sign your movements are becoming more controlled and efficient. For those who use a cane or walker, the same principle applies. Sometimes, the temptation is to set your cane or walker too far ahead, trying to cover more distance at once. But that can throw off your balance and make you less steady. Keep your assistive device close to your body, move it in tandem with your steps, and remember that compact, steady steps will always serve you better than reaching too far ahead. This isn't just about preventing falls, though that is certainly important. It's also about reclaiming the confidence that comes from feeling in control of your body. Every small step is a decision, a conscious choice to move safely, to value your independence, and to enjoy the journey rather than rushing to the destination. It's about honoring where you are right now, not who you used to be or who you think you should be. You might find, as many others have, that small steps also bring a kind of unexpected freedom. You don't have to worry so much about what's ahead, because you know your body can respond. You're able to notice more, the warmth of the sunlight on your face, the sound of birds in the morning, the smile of a neighbor as you pass by. Life doesn't shrink with smaller steps. If anything, it expands, inviting you to experience every detail more deeply. So, if you ever feel frustrated that you're not moving as quickly as you once did, remember Mr. Franklin's story, and the countless others who have discovered the power of small steps. There's no shame in taking your time, no loss of dignity in choosing safety over speed. Quite the opposite. Every careful, mindful step is a declaration of your strength, your adaptability, and your respect for the remarkable journey your body has carried you through. Embrace the wisdom of small steps. Let them guide you, protect you, and open up a new sense of balance and joy in every walk you take. Because sometimes, slowing down is the very thing that lets you move forward with more confidence than ever before. Step 5. Your core is your balance. There's a quiet strength inside all of us, a kind of invisible belt that holds us upright, steady, and ready for whatever comes next. Most of us don't think much about our core, at least not by name, but we feel it every time we reach for something on a high shelf, get up from a favorite chair, or try to catch ourselves after a little stumble. The truth is, your core is so much more than a buzzword for fitness gurus. It's the living foundation for your balance, and it matters more as the years go by. It's easy to assume that walking safely is all about strong legs. And yes, healthy muscles in your thighs, calves, and feet are crucial. But the real secret of stable movement starts at the center. Imagine your core as a supportive band of muscles wrapping around your midsection. Your abdominals, your lower back, and your hips, working quietly beneath every step, every turn, every shift of your weight. For years, we may not have noticed how seamlessly our core did its job. We carried groceries, played with grandchildren, bent down to tie shoes, all without thinking about the muscles holding us steady. But over time, if we don't give our core a little attention, it slowly goes off duty. That's when we might start to notice our posture slouching, our back aching, or our steps feeling less sure than they used to. Let me share a story about Mrs. Lillian Auga, who, at 81, never lost her curiosity or her love of gardening. What did change, though, was the way she felt while walking across her kitchen floor. Lillian began to sense a subtle wobble every time she moved from the sink to the stove. Her legs felt strong enough, but her confidence was slipping. For a woman who once prided herself on moving with grace and ease, it was a frustrating loss, one that made her wonder if she'd ever get it back. A friend suggested she visit a physical therapist, who offered a gentle lesson: "Your legs are doing their part, but your core muscles have fallen asleep." He explained that the core is like the roots of a tree. If they're weak, the whole trunk sways and even the strongest branches can't hold the tree upright in a storm. The therapist didn't recommend crunches or complicated exercises. Instead, he showed her something simple she could do every day. While standing at the kitchen counter, Lillian would lift one foot just an inch or two off the floor and try to hold her balance for 5 seconds. At first, she wobbled and had to put her foot down almost immediately. But day by day, as she practiced, her muscles woke up. Her brain remembered the feeling of stability, and her body responded with growing confidence. The magic wasn't in the movement itself, but in the gentle activation of the core. Even tiny efforts, like gently drawing her belly button toward her spine while brushing her teeth, began to rebuild her strength. It didn't feel like exercise, but the results were real. Her walks around the house became steadier, her gardening easier, and the nervous flutter she used to feel as she moved from room to room slowly faded away. That's the beauty of focusing on your core. You don't need a gym membership, special equipment, or a trainer yelling instructions. All it takes is a little intention, a moment here and there to check in with the center of your body and remind it to do its part. The next time you're standing by the sink or waiting for the kettle to boil, try gently tightening your belly for a few seconds and then relaxing. Or stand tall, imagining a string pulling you up from the crown of your head, aligning your spine, and waking up those deep, supportive muscles. For those who like a challenge, balancing on one foot, always with something sturdy nearby to steady yourself, can be a powerful way to engage your core. If that feels like too much, simply practicing good posture while sitting or standing helps build the foundation for steadier movement. The important thing is consistency, not intensity. The benefits go far beyond just walking safely. When your core is awake, you're less likely to strain your back when lifting, less likely to fatigue when standing, and far more able to react quickly if you start to lose your balance. You become more resilient, not just physically, but emotionally, because each steady step reminds you that you are capable, adaptable, and strong in ways you may have forgotten. There's a quiet joy that comes with rebuilding your center. Lillian often jokes now that she's found her core just in time, and her family has noticed the difference, too. Her posture is straighter, her laugh a little louder, and her willingness to get up and move around the garden renewed. And for her, that small act of strengthening has become a source of pride, a daily victory that no one else may see, but she feels deep inside. You don't have to be an athlete or fitness fanatic to benefit from a stronger core. You just have to decide that you're worth a little extra care and that your independence is worth a few moments each day. Let your core support you as it once did, quietly, faithfully, with every move you make. So, the next time you find yourself hesitating before standing up or taking a step, pause for a moment. Feel your center. Remind yourself that balance isn't just about your legs or your shoes, it's about the strength within you. With each breath, each gentle movement, you're not just preventing falls. You're reclaiming your sense of security and freedom. Your core is your balance, and your balance is your birthright. It's never too late to nurture that inner strength and to stand tall, knowing you are supported from the inside out. Let each step, each day, become a celebration of that quiet, steadfast power that's yours alone. Step 6. Awareness of floor patterns and transitions. There are certain things you only start to notice as the years go by. Small changes that once would have seemed trivial, but now matter deeply to your sense of safety and comfort. Among these, perhaps nothing is as underestimated as the way a floor can change beneath your feet. For most of your life, you may have breezed from room to room, across carpets and tiles, through sunlit hallways and shadowed entries, never giving a thought to what lay below. But as you grow older, those subtle shifts in texture, color, or light become quiet challenges, sometimes even silent hazards. It often starts so simply. One day you realize you hesitate for a second before stepping from the kitchen's cool linoleum onto the living room's thick rug. Maybe you catch yourself pausing at the threshold of the bathroom, where the tile can feel slick under bare feet. Or perhaps you notice that walking from a brightly lit hallway into a softly lit bedroom leaves you feeling momentarily unsure, your depth perception blurring for just a split second. These moments may seem minor, but they are reminders that our brains and bodies are constantly adjusting, often in ways we hardly recognize. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Peter, a 79-year-old widower from Minnesota, knows this challenge well. After losing his wife, Peter spent more time alone in his house, tending to daily routines with quiet diligence. One winter evening, after a light dusting of snow left his shoes damp, Peter nearly slipped on the glossy hardwood that ran from his entryway to the main hallway. He didn't fall, but the scare was enough to make him look at his familiar home with new eyes. Suddenly, the transition from carpet to wood, from tile to linoleum, even from a well-lit room to a dim one, became something he thought about every day. Peter's physical therapist explained that this wasn't just a matter of being cautious. As we age, the brain's ability to adjust to new sensory information, like a change in texture or lighting, can slow down a bit. The nerves in our feet may not signal as quickly, or our eyes might take a little longer to adapt. Even the sound or temperature of a new surface can be disorienting. And if you wear bifocals or progressive lenses, those small steps up or down, a porch stoop, a bathroom mat, a single stair, can look deceptively flat or oddly steep, making things even trickier. The therapist shared a surprisingly simple but powerful trick. As you move from one surface to another, say the new surface's name to yourself, quietly but clearly: carpet, tile, step up, hardwood, threshold. It might sound silly, but this small act helps your brain focus on the change, preparing your body for a subtle shift in balance. For Peter, this new habit became a quiet mantra. Every time he entered the kitchen, tile, or walked down the hallway, wood, he found himself more aware, less likely to slip, and a little more in control. It's not just about the name, though. Paying attention to the feel of the floor, how soft, hard, warm, or cold it is, can help your body respond appropriately. If you feel uncertain about a new surface, slow down and take smaller steps. If the floor looks shiny or wet, test it first with your toe. Hold on to a sturdy chair or counter as you transition if you need to. And if your vision struggles with reflections or changes in light, give your eyes a moment to adjust before taking the next step. For those who use assistive devices, such as canes or walkers, these transitions can be even more important. Always check that your cane's tip or your walker's wheels are steady before shifting your weight. Try to avoid rugs with curled edges or mats that slide easily. These can be especially risky during transitions. Let's not forget, too, how easily a house filled with love and memories can become a maze of small hazards. Sometimes, the things that make a home cozy, plush rugs, decorative pillows, even beloved pets napping in the sunlight, can create challenges. If you ever feel embarrassed or frustrated by this, know that you're not alone. Most people find themselves rethinking old routines or rearranging furniture in ways they never imagined. There's nothing shameful about making your home safer. It's an act of self-respect, and it helps you stay independent for as long as possible. There's another side to this awareness, though, one that's quietly empowering. Each time you move from one surface to another, each time you pay attention and take care, you're not just preventing falls. You're honoring the wisdom of your body. You're choosing to stay present in your life, to recognize the world as it is now, and to move through it with a kind of grace that's only possible when you truly listen to yourself. Peter, for his part, found that this new awareness didn't just make him safer, it also made him more mindful. He noticed details in his home he'd overlooked for years: a sunbeam falling across the kitchen floor, the soft click of his heels on wood, the way his old dog's tail thumped contentedly against the hallway rug. In slowing down and paying attention, Peter discovered new joys in everyday moments and a sense of quiet control that had felt out of reach just months before. If you find yourself anxious about transitions, try this. Before you take a step onto a new surface, pause and breathe. Name it, touch it if you need to, and let your body settle before you continue. Trust that your awareness is a powerful ally. And if you make a mistake, if you slip or stumble, forgive yourself. This is a journey of adaptation, not perfection. So, as you move through the spaces of your life, across kitchen tiles, down carpeted halls, into sunlit porches and moonlit bedrooms, remember that every step is worthy of your attention. You've earned the right to walk carefully, to honor your instincts, and to make choices that support your safety and peace of mind. Let your awareness of floor patterns and transitions be a daily act of care, a way of saying to yourself, I matter, and so does every step I take. With each mindful transition, you're not just moving through your home. You're moving through life itself, with wisdom, courage, and a spirit that keeps you steady, even when the world beneath your feet is always changing. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to remember something truly important. Every small change you make matters. Walking safely isn't about perfection. It's about kindness to yourself, patience, and the willingness to try again each day. The 6 simple steps we've explored aren't complicated exercises or quick fixes. They are gentle reminders of the strength and wisdom already within you. You've lived a lifetime of experiences, and your body still knows how to move with grace, balance, and purpose. It's okay to take things slow. It's okay to stumble sometimes, because each step, even the hesitant ones, is a step toward reclaiming your independence and confidence. You deserve to feel steady, secure, and free to explore your world without fear. Imagine walking through your favorite places with calm assurance, noticing the beauty around you, and feeling the ground beneath your feet with trust and ease. You are not fragile. You are adapting, learning, and growing stronger in ways that might surprise you. This journey is about more than walking. It's about embracing life fully, at your own pace, with courage and grace. So take these steps to heart. Practice them kindly, celebrate your progress, and remember that you are never alone. There is a whole community of seniors walking this path with you, sharing their stories, their strength, and their hope. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Keep stepping forward, one steady, confident step at a time. You deserve nothing less.